Gentle exercise class today, and you will need a pole and a resistance band. So we're starting marching, shoulders back and down, knees are hip distance apart. So with your arms, just nice gentle breathe, breath in and breath out. So slowly on the way in and slowly out. And if you can watch yourself doing this, you can see if your pole is horizontal and you're not sort of leading up with one side or leading up with the other side. So it's making both arms work through that same range of movement. So that breath in and breath out. Slow breath in and out. So bending at the elbows, coming up and down. So we can increase the pace, both of the arms and legs. So this is your sort of rewarm, just getting you used to using the pole. So I'm sort of leaning down. I'm sort of a little bit quicker with my right hand. So I'm just going to keep the pole even. So in changing the movement up to the shoulders, up and down. So it's just good for mobilizing to your shoulders, getting used to using the pole. And again, just keeping that movement horizontal. We use it later and also for resistance, but also for shoulder mobility. So a couple more here. So taking the pole, pushing back and forth. Again, we're using this as a bit of a rehearsal for what we're doing later on. So like a chest press movement, so just keeping his elbows nice and high, keeping that pole flat as we take it back and forth. Walking the hands down the pole to the centre, upright rows, and again keeping the pole flat. So nice and high with those elbows, keeping the pole nice and flat. Nice deep breaths as you do this movement here. Taking the hands down, moving the hands along the pole so it's hip distance apart, just taking up and down. Taking the hands slightly wider, curling up as you did earlier. Add a little rotation through your shoulders, shoulders coming forward and down, so wide here. Taking the bar behind your head, holding nice and wide onto the top of the bar, slight bend in the knees, a little twist. So twist to one side, twist to the other side. Keeping your hips facing forward, just the movement comes through the middle of your back. So you can rest your hands onto the pole as you move from side to side and keeping those hips forward. And one more each side. Okay, taking the bar down further behind your back, changing the grip, shoulders are back, taking the arms up and out to the side. So this is a nice one to stretch through your chest, stretch through the front of your shoulders, but also get to full range of movement through that shoulder. If you've got a weaker shoulder, that lower arm pushing up will make that top arm work through a fuller range of movement. So it's very good for shoulder mobility. So it's keeping it smooth and controlled, pushing up from side to side. So again, nice deep breaths, push it up as far as you can. Just keep that fluent. So you can add a little sway here, loosen the hips up. So your hands on to the edge of the pole, just transferring the weight from side to side. Okay, so bringing the bar in front, or the pole in front, you can walk the hand down the pole and walk the hand up the pole as well. So good for the grip, good for dexterity. Okay, pole down. Face up to the side. Let's get your heart rate up a little bit. So that's good for your mobility. You've got you moving from side to side, got you reaching up, opening the chest, and getting the hips moving as well. So little toe taps forward, just to finish a warm up before we start the main circuit. So back to a march, punching forward. So the circuit, we're working with the pole, the weights, and without both, just to raise your heart rate. So taking the arms down, circling the shoulders. So you're doing a little interval, so you're going to raise your heart rate up. So the first exercise is stepping, touch from side to side. So step touch from side to side. Again, your knees are soft. Take your arms a little higher. Take the arms a little higher again. I'm going to circle the arms here. And again, the whole foot drops down to the floor as you're tapping from side to side. Take the arms the opposite way. So you're using large arm movements, which helps increase your heart rate and gets you a little bit puffy. And the opposite way again. So again, good stride across the floor, tapping from side to side, keeping those movements nice and large with the arms. Bring your heart rate up. So bringing your heart rate up, and then we'll bring it down by using the palm movement. So step touch from side to side, taking the arms one way and then the other. Taking the arms down, leading with your right leg, box step. So not a rest at this point, you're going to keep your heart rate up. So your knees are soft as you're tapping forward. And marching arms. So arms are coming back and forth. Make sure the heel drops down to the floor. So think of box. So think the corners of the box, facing the heel to that corner as you step back. So yeah, I'm pushing back with those elbows. Good strong movement. With a tap and change, so lead with that opposite leg, even you up. So keep the chest lifted. 4 boxes, 4 corners of that box. Okay, so bring it to a march, straight into knee lifts. So arms are coming up, knees are coming up in front. So again, if you get breathless, you can take the arms down, keep the feet moving. If you get breathless, you can take the arms down. Knees are still coming up. You're still keeping your heart rate raised. So the options are there. Add a little half a skip if you want to. You've got another 12 seconds left. And then we reach for the pole. Okay, bring it to a march. So that's brought your heart rate up. Let's use the pole. The pole in conjunction with the band. Place the band, which is looped, through the pole. So you've got loop the pole, loop band. Standing onto the pole, hands hip distance apart, drawing the bar up to your chest. So leading nice and high with your elbow. You see this band has a few knots in it. It has broken in the past, but it's surprising how if you tie them together, they can still be just as effective. Sometimes it makes them a little bit shorter, so makes the workout a little bit harder. So nice and high with those elbows, keep going. Again, nice deep breaths. Work until you can't, rest until you can. So if you start to get a little bit achy, and those elbows aren't coming up quite so high, have a little rest, loosen to your neck, and then join in whenever you can. So we're still going, upright rows. Work through the top of your shoulders and your upper back. Okay, we're going to slow this pace. Take the arms down. Take one stride back. So it's not a lunge back, it's just a stride back. I'll show you from the side. And as in the warm-up, the hands are a little bit wider, and you're taking the arms up to shoulder height and back. So that rear foot is secure in the band as you take the arms up and down. So do it from the front and join in whenever you can. So again, you still find you get a strong grip. You're working through your shoulders. The elbows are slightly soft. This is quite good if you're working with resistance exercise, but your grip, your wrist is weak. So you've got that straight bar, something strong to hold on to as you take the arms up to shoulder height. So again, keep breathing. It's good to breathe out on exertion. So you might want to breathe in at this point and breathe out on exertion. So again, breathe in, breathe out. Okay, if you do 4 more. So 4, 3, 2, and 1, and slowly down. So bring the feet hip distance apart, so that again draws the band forward and lengthens the band a little without doing any sort of touching of the band. So the hand's still in that same position, curling up at the elbows. So you've got a reverse curl here. So the elbows are locked into the side, drawing the hands up to the shoulders, and again try to keep that bar even. The band's a little bit closer to my left arm, so I'm having to lift a little bit harder with that side. So if you have a weaker side, you may want to then do this again afterwards. I'm placing the band on that side, so that works a little bit harder. So you can work through your shoulders here. You can take it up, take the bar a little wider, get those elbows up, take it down and up. We did this in the warm-up. So down to the waist, up. Care not to hollow the lower back, so you get internal sort of rotation of the shoulder, or upper lower rotation of the shoulder. So you're not taking it in and out. So keep those elbows raised. Try not to take the back up as you come up. If you're doing that, you're probably best to stay to the bicep curl, that reverse curl. So it's nice movement again to work through your shoulders. So you work them and loosen them nicely with the pole at the start. So curling up and down. Let's do another magic 4. So 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly lower down. Separate the band from the pole, place it to the side. So give the arms and shoulders a little rest. We're going into squatty dogs. So it's mixing it up, giving your heart rate a bit more of a workout. So taking the arms up here. So again, tapping back, good stride back. Not into a lunge, but a good stride back here. So again, this will help loosen your shoulders, push your tummy to the backbone, keep this nice and rhythmic. So this is a time where you might want to turn the music up, so you can't hear the deep breathing. So you're doing 3 sort of type of exercises which raises your heart rate, and this is one of the block. So we're going to change the movement in a moment. So we're just taking it to a sideward movement. So it's taking your limbs to a different range of movement, so you don't do too much in one plane. So we're taking the arms and legs out to the side for half jacks. So again, it's placing their weight into your heels. Your shoulders are lower, your arms are lower. So it takes the effort level off your shoulders. You can keep the elbows bent, or you can extend the arms up and out to the side. So again, travel out to the side. Good strong tap to the side. You can take it into full jack if you want to. You can take it into more of a dancey one where you take it from side to side with a little hop. I'll stay with this one. But you can take it to that level that you feel comfortable. So again, if you get breathless, take the arms down, keep the feet moving. And this is your second exercise of your third, just to sort of keep your heart rate up. So we're taking the arms down, and again, we're changing that plane. So step, knee raise. So as though you're stepping onto a step, knee raises up. So again, keep your chest lifted, keep those arms coming up. Good full stride forward. Get the knees up. So raise the knees up rather than bring the chest to the knees. Keep your feet hip distance apart. And just keep going. Looking good. So step, back, step, knee. Nice and rhythmic. So you've taken your arms and legs through a different plane, different direction. Nice safe workout. Make sure that knee coming directly forward. So next phase we'll be working just with the band, and we'll be working to strengthen the muscles of the legs predominantly around your hips, to keep your hips nice and strong. So we're almost down here. So bring it back to a march. Oops. And we're going to grab the band. So the band is still looped, but you don't need the pole. Bands, different lengths, different resistance. What we're looking to do is stand onto the band. So your feet are hip distance apart, so there is a bit of resistance there. You're taking the stride out, out, in, in. So wide, wide, narrow, narrow. So as you're pushing out against that resistance, you're pushing out against the band. If the band is too long, you can add a twist in the band just to make the resistance a little harder. And again, you can make it more harder if you take that stride a lot wider. So whichever stride you take it as wide as you can and control that stride so it doesn't pull you in. So in doing this, keep a slight bend in the knees. You'd make it harder if you keep a slight bend in the knees throughout. So this is keeping a slight bend in the knee all the time, or you can be upright with the legs straight. You can hold on to a chair and hold on to the back of the chair and do this. You can face the wall and do this as well. Just a small movement, and you'll be working this area of your hips. So out, out, in, in. So we're going to make this a little bit more difficult by standing on one leg, holding onto a chair if you want to, and taking that band out to the side. So it's pushing out to the side and slowing that movement. So you can pulse it without touching the floor, taking that leg smoothly out to the side. Take my arms out of the way so you can see. So they're sort of leading almost back with the heel. The balance, a lot of balance is involved. This leg is working really hard in controlling me in this movement. I can bend that knee as well a little, just to make it a little bit harder. So again, nice smooth movements, pushing against that band, smoothly out and smoothly in and not choppy. Let's try the opposite side, just standing on this leg. Again, you may want to place a chair to the side of you or hold on to the wall. You tend to have a stronger leg. So straight out to the side and in. Nice and smooth. So this must be my worst leg. Finding this a little bit more tricky. So again, it's squeezing the side of my glutes, pushing that heel away and just keeping a slight bend in my support leg. So it's work until you can't, rest until you can. If you start to find that you're kicking out, that's wrong. It's slow and controlled. Your muscles are working isometrically, so working without movement, taking that leg up and out to the side. So again, a couple more in your own time. Okay, placing the band down, feet hip distance apart, grabbing hold of the band. I'm going to untangle that now. And we're going to take it into upright rows. So bicep curl. So under hand grip. So you've got an unstable sort of band here. So you haven't got the stability of the pole. So you're working against the movement of the band in lots of different directions. So Again, elbows tucked into the side, keep the movement fluent, and the end movement is right to your shoulders, not to your chest. Again, nice deep moves, nice deep breath, keep it smooth and controlled. Okay, a couple more in your own time. Okay, slowing the band down, taking the band away, and then again it's bringing your heart rate up, so it's heel digs forward. So arms coming up to shoulder height, tapping forward with your heels, keeping a slight bend in your knee. You can make this harder if you stay with that bend. So this is your normal. So legs are fairly straight, or you can keep a bend in the knee, tapping forward. So again, just keep that rhythmic, keep it going. Again, it's giving your legs a bit of a movement rest before you go on and do some additional exercise with the bar and the pole. So heel digs. Again, the pace is up to you. You can slow the pace if you want to, if you're tired. You take away the arms as well. So the main thing is keep the feet moving. So heel digs. So we're going to take the arms down, take the movement to step touch to the side. You've done your step touch, we're taking it into a skate. So slightly in forward through the waist, tapping forward behind your support leg. With your arms, push back, so squeeze your shoulder blades back. Slight bend in the knees, tapping right across. So a little bend and tap. You can clap the hands behind. Give yourself a pat on the back. So reach and pull. So again, with or without the arms, the stride is up to you, but try to take that stride as far as you can. And that toe tap is directly behind your support leg. So again, chest lifted, tummy muscles nice and tight. Just keep going. So this is one of your exercises to raise your heart rate up. Then we're going to add a knee raise and a tap back. Two exercises that you've done earlier, just mixing them together. So reaching forward and tapping back. So if you bring it to a march, I'll show you the next exercise. So you've done a tap back, so stay with that march, you've done a tap back, and you've done a knee raise. So now, working with your left leg, sorry, the right leg, you're going to tap back, knee up, tap back, knee up. So when you're ready, so tap back, knee up. So now we're timing. Tap back and up. So again, the arms are coming forward. Tap back, knee up. So we're not doing a whole minute on this side, you'll be pleased to see. So we'll tap and change in a moment. 3 seconds left. Okay, so tap back, knee up. Again, keep those arms coming up, tap back, knee up. Okay, and bring it back to that march. So we're back to the band and pole. So interlinking the band and the pole. Just a little experiment. You can see the band. It's further across to my right. I'm going to take both hands, the opposite side of the band. I'm going to do an upright row movement. Now the force of the band makes this movement a little bit harder. So my right arm will have to work a little bit harder. So just experimenting, moving the band in a different position. Surprised how different it makes this movement. So if you do one side, just as a taster, we'll move it to the other side. So it's moving the band across further to the opposite side, and then upright rows here. So the hand closest to the band is going to have to work a lot harder. It's doing more of the work. So again, keep it rhythmic. So I put this in because you did this earlier on in your workout. It's a familiar exercise, but it's just making you aware of just band placement, how it can make the workout that little bit more different. Something to play around with. I'm going to draw the band to the center, hands shoulder height, and pushing forward. So keep those elbows raised, push back and forth. Again, keep that rhythmic and controlled. So breath in, breath out, breath in. So you're constantly lifting the weight and resistance of that band as you're pushing the arms back and forth. As I say, each band strength will vary. Depends how the length of both, to whether you can maintain this or have a little breather. Okay, so if you want to do 4 more, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So lower the band down. I'm going to leave it there, circle the shoulders. You need to draw your hands around behind, squeeze the shoulder blades back. Your shoulders, front of your shoulders may be aching just a little bit. So it's taking your right arm across, hug that arm in towards you, still keeping those feet moving. We're going to interlink those hands, take them above your head, nice and tall. And then taking your left arm across, again, hug that arm in towards you. Probably quite a nice release. Okay, taking the arms down, circle the shoulders. Taking your right leg over your left leg, reaching up nice and tall, reaching across. Stretching out this area here that you've worked quite hard. We're changing over, so again, take it across, reaching up, reaching over. Taking the arms down, circling the shoulders. Taking your right hand up, so you're going to scratch your back, push that elbow back. You can just keep the feet moving just a little bit. And then lower down and change over. We didn't do an awful lot on the legs, so we're not going to do any more stretches there. We're going to loosen the shoulder. Feet hip distance apart, think good posture. You're going to take a deep breath in as you draw the hands up to the chest. And breathing out, down and away. So again, one more time, breath in. And then slowly out. Hands around to the side. Good posture. Well done. See you all again soon. Take care.